Alright, it's Friday night. Picked up brisket, getting it set up for tomorrow. So we got an Angus prime, picked up at Members Mark, which is our local Sam's Club, 15 pounder. Got the scissors to cut it open, got the knife to clean it up. Got some whole black peppers we're going to crush up in our crusher. Put probably 1 cup of crushed black pepper. And we got some sea salt. We're going to put a cup of that on and some bullshit. Put some of that on. I'm not sure how much of that. Probably half cup of that as an extra. So let me get it opened up. Trim off some of this nasty fat there. And then on the other side, the fat cap side, we'll trim off just a little bit. But we want to leave most of that on to protect it during the cook. Okay, we got it unwrapped, got it back on the table. You can see right through here, this is really thick, hard fat. We want to get rid of most of that and a little bit of this area here where it's darkened up to get it down to the fresh meat. So I'm just going to go through, clean up, get some of this silver fat, they call it, silver skin off of there. Some of this little stuff here, don't worry about that, will render out. Most part you get the real thick hard stuff off of there because that will not break down as easily as the thinner fat. So let me get her cleaned up for you. Alright, so this is the fat cap side. Basically went through, we got a couple spots here. I went a little right there and maybe there. Try to keep about 1/4 inch thick with fat cap on there to keep it protected. Because I'm going to cook it fat cap side down on the big green egg. And cleaned out some of this real thick fat that was through there. So here's the fat. There's some wicked, I mean, this hard stuff you can't even push hard as I can't even push into it. That's nasty hard stuff. You want that off. The soft stuff's not so bad. Flip her over, and here's the flat end, point end, and cleaned out a little bit of that area right there. The decal was really hard fat on this particular brisket, so cleaned up. I'm going to put some of the crushed black pepper and sea salt and bullshit on it and get her covered, and it's going to sit all night long till morning. Fire up the big green egg early in the morning and get her cooking. Alright, there we go. Just got the pepper on so far. Probably got about 1/4 cup on there, maybe a little bit less. Kind of up to you what you want for taste. If you like a lot of pepper, put a lot of pepper. If you don't like pepper, don't put a lot of pepper. I'm going to put about the same amount or maybe a little bit more on the other side. On the fat cat side, most of it doesn't absorb in anyway, so you don't get a whole lot of taste on this side, and a lot of it's going to fall off because that's going to be on the bottom getting cooked. I'm going to put salt on and some of the good shit and then flip it over. Alright, added not quite 1/4 cup of salt to this side, and maybe a little bit less than that of the bullshit, because that stuff's pretty strong. It's got a good solid taste. So flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So probably 1/4 cup of salt, a little bit less than 1/4 cup of the good shit, and 1/4 cup of fresh crushed black pepper on the side. There we go. The flat side down, or non-fat cap side, the flat and the point. So we got about 1/4 cup of fresh crushed black pepper, and now we're going to put the salt on. Again, a little bit less than 1/4 cup of that, and a little bit less than 1/4 cup, probably 1/8 of a cup of my bullshit, and about 1/4 cup of salt. And then we're going to put it in a big old pan tonight to get all the seasoning, let it soak in overnight. It smells good already. It's going to be phenomenal tomorrow. Really good. Alright, here we go. Salt is added, the bullshit is added, and nice good even cover around the whole thing. Going to take it and put it in the pan and let it rest overnight so all those all the ingredients soak in into the meat and give it a better taste. So here we go. Nope, it's not Thanksgiving. It's brisket time. It's the only pan I have big enough to fit the big brisket in. So fat cap down. Gonna let it rest overnight, and so all the ingredients soak in. Good night. Bye bye. Okay, here we are the next morning. Pulled it out of the refrigerator. Now, threw a little bit more pepper on it. There's a couple spots for put just a little bit more pepper and salt on it before I throw it on the big green egg. But I got a temp probe here into the flat section, and I got a temp probe that goes down into the point, the thicker part. I'm gonna monitor both temperatures. So we're gonna throw it on the big green egg here, probably 20 minutes. Let's sit here for about an hour, get the egg up to temp. I'm trying to get everything up and running. I'm gonna be monitoring it with a DigiQ. I can't think the actual one. Anyway, it's a digital thermometer. Kind of runs the temp on the green egg and monitors the temp. So the pit and the meat, two different areas. So I think we're gonna run at 275 degrees up until the internal temp's around 160, 165, and then I'm gonna wrap it as long as the color's decent. Wrap it with butcher paper at that point, and then run it out until it's around 200, 203 degrees. Then we'll pull it and let it rest. So here's how we're gonna set the cook up. Got the big green egg, got the plate inverter blocker, legs pointing up. Got a tray underneath for drippings, and then I got my water pan in there. Got my temp probe there. Fans down there, and I'm gonna be running the CyberQ. Once I get it, I got it set to be run at 275. So we'll see how she goes. It's coming up to temp. Stay tuned. Brisket on the big green egg. Okay, we're out the big green egg. Gonna throw the brisket on. Got a pan in there. That's good. Set it right in there. Square it up. And I got the one probe in the flat, one probe in the point. And we're losing temp. So there we go. It's gonna be on there for about 3-4 hours till it gets to 165. Here we are, the big green egg. 2.5 hours into the cook. Looking really good. Smells really good. Kind of wanted to take a peek at my water. Water pan goes pretty good. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, so for wrapping it, which we're coming up on wrapping time right now, grill's running 272 degrees, and meat's at 160 on, I guess I can show you that, 272, 160 on the one, and 153 on the other, so I'm getting ready to pull those real quick here. Got the Reynolds Kitchen Pink Butcher Wrap with the slide cutter. Look at that bad boy.
Did you mute it already?
So we're going to rip some of this off, get the paper set up, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, we got the Reynolds wrap set out here. Got a nice strip laying down on my workbench. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this back a little bit, and right at the end, we'll set the meat right on the end here. There. And we're going to flop it over, and wrap that bugger up. You'll see that shortly. Bye-bye. Okay, here we are another hour later, and the temps are up to 165 internal on the flat and 167 on the, or 167 on the flat, 165 on the point. We're gonna pull it off, throw it on butcher paper, and put it back in. Good? Mm-hmm. Alright, bringing the bad boy off. Tear it all off. Let's go. Over here. Set it on there. Gotta get our probes out of here. And how do we want to do it? The probes out, probes in. I think we'll just pull them out. No? Leave the probes in, they say. That's what the gallery's telling me behind. Close the roof, keep the heat, gloves off. We gotta figure out how much paper we're gonna need. Around there. Some more. Here. Back down. Alright, getting the wrap on. And tuck this in here a little bit if we can. Tuck it under. And we're good to go. Juice is already coming through, so this will get saturated with the juices and it'll hold the juices while it's cooking. Alright, so here you are, the big green eggs running at 275. We're, I don't know how many hours in now, more than that. We're probably, what, 8 hours in, coming up on 9 hours. The flat is around 196 temp and the point is around 194 temp. Again, cooking 275 on the big green egg. We got a water pan in there also. So stay tuned. It's going to be pulled shortly. Here we go. Pulled it up the big green egg, 200 degrees on the point and the flat. We're going to throw it in the oven, let it rest for an hour. Just let the juices go back. Eating in 45 minutes to an hour. Alright, here we go. We're probably 9.5, 10 hours on the cook, and then I had it in the oven resting for probably an hour and a half, I'm going to say. Pull it out, and we're going to open it up here. So hold your horses. There you go, big fellas. Just got it all unwrapped. Looks good. Smells phenomenal. We're going to cut into it here and get some slices out and get into that point as well. Man, looks good. Alright, here we go. We're going to cut it into the flat. Just going to cut a little tip off the edge. You see the grain going that direction there. It's coming across here. I don't have a fork with me. Being bad. Try not to cut the paper. Probably should have took that off from underneath. Looks good. Juicy. Got a good ring on it. Smoke ring around the edge. Tender looking. Juicy looking. It's got the old bend to it. Do the pull test. Pull test is good. Tastes really good. Alright, here we go. We got the point end here. Looks really good. And flat over there.
What's the difference?
Juice. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that, boys. Go get you one. Cook it up. Yummy!